Congaloosh, everybody. Glenn the Day Tripper here. I've got a lot of fun, exciting things for us to do today, but I'm not going to tell you what that is quite yet. It's a little bit of a drive. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, all depending on traffic, but that doesn't really matter because in this world, and welcome to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Now, Busch Gardens opened May 16th, 1975 as Busch Gardens, the Old Country. And they had 4 original parks, and as you can see, they have expanded. But today, we're going to be focusing on the 4 original, which will be England, Scotland, Germany, and France. But the first thing we have to do is we got to go to guest relations. I'll explain a little bit more later once we get there. Pro tip for you guys: if you want to use a hands-free camera like a GoPro, you got to go to guest relations and have them fill out a hands-free camera device card, because they will be asking for this at the beginning of the rides. So we're good to go. And as soon as you walk in, the very first thing you see is this gorgeous fountain. And I'll tell you, that water's looking mighty enticing. It's about 90 million degrees outside. And as soon as you walk through this, you're going to be in our very first country, England. Let's go ahead and just pick up a map. Welcome to Banbury Cross, England. Now this is a cool little thing when you first come into the park. If you have kids, you can actually go into these booths and measure your kid, and they can give you a wristband. And once they give you the wristband, you can tell what ride they can go on or what ride they're not tall enough for. That's pretty cool. Now, Busch Gardens is not for the faint of heart. I would recommend bringing some really good shoes. This is a very hilly park, and it can get very tiring after a while. I wouldn't recommend flip-flops or sandals or anything like that. The second country we're going to hit is Scotland, Heather Downs. This is where they keep their Clydesdales, because this park was owned by Anheuser-Busch for a long time. Now these are their stables in Scotland, Heather's Downs. This little pony's name is Aiden. And right next to him is Eddie. Hey Eddie. Does that taste good? Looks like sawdust. Hey, each their own though. Let's not disturb Eddie right now. He's eating. But here's my buddy. Hey Dustin. You may not know it, but this guy here has a lot of personality. Can you say hello, boy? Can you say hello? I see you looking at me. And just to let you know, Eddie and Dustin and them, they don't stay cooped up in the stables all day long. They actually got a really nice place where they can go out and roam and everything. Clydesdales used to come out through the park and roam around and all that while Anheuser-Busch owned it. But once they sold it, the people fell in love with these horses so much that they didn't want to get rid of them. So Anheuser-Busch took their horses, and Busch Gardens has actually replaced them with their very own. These guys here, like Eddie, Dustin, and the rest of them, have a darker coat, almost black, so it wouldn't be copyright infringement on horses. Can you believe it? You can actually copyright a horse? Anywho, like I was saying, they just don't hang around in the stables all day. This is their pasture that they get to go to. Let me show it to you. And up in this area here is where the stables are. So they would come out here, come out into the grassy area, run around, trot around, eat grass, do what horses do. And then when they would come out to this tree with these two little balls right here, and they would kind of headbutt these balls. It's actually kind of fun to watch them do it. But it is so hot out here. Eddie and Dustin, they just want to chill out in the stables where the AC is. And I don't blame them. And just right across the way from the stables is the tap room where you can get refreshments of that nature. Just another pro tip for y'all. You can go to places like the Tap House back there and they will give you free water on hot days like today. So that's always good to know and keep that little nugget in your head. Let's continue on. Another thing I like about Busch Gardens is they kind of play with myths and legends. Let me ask you, what is the one thing that Scotland is famous for when it comes to legends? It's the Loch Ness Monster. And here at BGW, we have the real Nessie. Let me show you. Built in 1978, the Loch Ness Monster was the biggest, baddest boy on the block. It had the tallest hill, which was 130 foot with a 114 foot drop. Which, that's not it. That's just kind of a psych drop as you go over. And as it comes around, it drops you down. Just like that. It was also the first of its kind for interlocking loops. Now, the theming for this coaster is really cool. It's like something out of the 1800s expedition. The submarine, diving bell, and air pump, you can see that in the queue line when the line is long enough. Unfortunately, I can't go down in the queue right now because of the line so short. They won't allow me to go down there, but I'll try to get you some of the best shots that I can. So let's check this out a little bit. But today's wait is really not that bad. And that's another pro tip for you. You get here later on in the day, everybody comes to this ride first because it's the first one they see. Later on in the day, it's pretty much empty. As you can see, the queue starts here, and you go back in there and you just go right up on the ride. But on real busy days, you go down here and it's all set up. You got your diving bell there, you got your officer's tent there. And if you come down here, let's see if I can zoom in on it for you. Right there is supposed to be the tank that they put Nessie in once they catch her. But she is the Loch Ness Monster, so you know she'll never be caught. There's the old air pump, the submarine shack, diver's helmet. Oh, that was very interesting. Just to come to find out that this coaster right here is a recognized landmark roller coaster. And it's the last one with these interlocking loops. That's pretty cool. Well, enough talk about this thing. Let's get on this coaster and ride it. What do you say? Well, I just came off the Rock Ness. That was one legendary ride. Let's continue on. And for our third country, we're entering France. Welcome to Aquitaine, France, where you go through the streets and the French boutiques, gift shops, ice cream shops, and good places to cool down. Let's go check some things out. Here's a little nod to the past. Little eatery here, a little pit stop. But sitting right out front is an old Le Mans race car. This ride is no longer here. It's kind of like a little drive-along speedway. But in its place, we have the Griffon. This is what took over the Le Mans Raceway. I've been coming to this park ever since I was a kid. It kind of makes me wonder if I actually drove this thing around. Good birth year, by the way. Now this drop is insane. Just kind of dangles you over the edge, and you really don't know when you're going to go. Now the Griffon opened up in 2007, and at that time it was the tallest and fastest dive coaster. The initial drop is 205 feet, and it goes 71 miles an hour. It has 2 inversions and a lot of G's towards this thing. It was only bested by the same type of coaster in Cedar Point, the Valraven, but it held its title for a few years. What this coaster lacks in theming and ambiance makes up for sheer fun. I'm not going to talk too much about this coaster. I'm really excited to ride this thing, so let's get to it. Hopefully the wait's not too long. Not bad at all, only 5 minutes. Well, I just got off the Griffon, and let me tell you, that was one intense ride. Oh my Lord. That first drop is amazing. And the fourth and final land, Germany. Let's go inside and check this out. Wow. Look at this beautiful fountain. It'd be a shame not to make a wish. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm not going to tell you what I wish for, then it won't come true. So let's keep moving on. Oh, that AC feels so good. Now this is what I'm talking about. Oompa. Congaloosh. Oh no. And for $14.95 you can have a fake wheel. Well, ding dang. I know what you all want to say here. fight the urge. All these German beer signs. I mean, the detail on these things are just awesome. Well, gang, I'm about to show you the most terrifying ride in the park. The Das Carousel. Yeah, not really that frightening, but... And that was Rhineland, Germany. Now we're going to go forward to Oktoberfest. Now, Oktoberfest did not open up with the original park. Rhineland opened up in '75, but Oktoberfest section opened up in 1976. But I will make a deal with you all. I will ride the Mock Tower once I hit 100 subscribers. Now this is one of the last parts I want to show you of Oktoberfest. It's basically like carnival games and ring toss and the little water shoot 'em up things. But we do have a very interesting ride coming up. I don't know if you can see it from here. The Dark Castle. It's a interactive ride. The only reason why I bring this up, I'm going to go into better detail at it in a later time. But this is going to be a little spoiler alert if you don't want to know. They're going to be setting up for Hollow Scream real soon. And this is going to be one of their territories. And this is going to turn this into a walkthrough. And I believe the name of the house is going to be Frostbite. And I'm honestly looking forward to Hollow Scream starting because there's a lot of cool stuff coming this way. I mean, it's just, they've got the haunted walkthroughs, they've got different rides will be shut down so you can be, then turn into haunted houses. Like I was just saying, the Dark Castle back there will be turning into a house called Frostbite. Don't know much about it, not too much details are out about it now. And as I walked through the park today, I really didn't see them setting up for anything, but they're right in the middle of their summer nights type of thing here at Busch Gardens. And around 6 o'clock, Busch Gardens starts their summer nights, which is basically a dance party out in the streets. They have like real good dance music, pop music, and things of that nature going through the entire park. And so it's a real good time. So if you get a chance to come out here, after 6 is when it starts, and the sun goes down and it's not so hot, it's going to be a real good time. Well, just boarded my last ride of the day, the Sky Ride. The ride that will take me straight to my car. But I do appreciate you all coming along, and I will see you all back at the house. Well, we finally made it back home, and we're getting settled down from an evening for another hot day at Busch Gardens. I hope you guys really enjoyed what you saw today, and if you did, please like, subscribe, comment, share. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now, speaking about appreciation, it's time for me to pay it forward. I got two gentlemen that I want to give a shout out to, and that is Sean Rockinboxes and Braham Bones. Both of those channels will be down in the links below. Now, the first one, Sean Rockinboxes, has two channels, 12 o'clock rocks, which can happen at 12 noon or at 12 midnight. And it gives you updates about what's going on with him, contest things, and things of that nature. So check that out. The other one, Rockinboxes Presents, he interviews celebrities, Robert Englund, Corey Feldman, just to name a couple, and he's well on his way. So check him out as well. And my buddy Braham, that lives all the way out in California, has a channel called Alternate Adventures with Braham Bones. He's a really cool vlogger. I've been watching him since he first started up his channel. He has grown and he has come into his own. He has great adventures out there. I would highly suggest checking him out. I really like when he goes to Knott's Berry's farm out in the theme park world and everything else like that. He's really cool. Check him out. And with that, I will have to say, get out there and live differently. Until next time, y'all. Good night.